Thank you for tuning in to another tutorial brought to you by the Mission of Christ Network, where we teach you how to make the most of your media. I'm Chris, and today we'll be covering shooting interesting footage. While you're on your mission, you might find that things are a little different than they are at home. This is a good thing. It means you have the opportunity to capture some interesting footage for the followers back home. Now begs the question, how do I shoot interesting footage? Well, I'm going to show you a few techniques that will turn your shots into something worth watching. First, we don't need long clips, only about 10-second snippets. When you send us your video journal, we're going to cut to these clips. So try to keep it short and sweet. Now let's move on to our first technique, shooting using different angles. We have included a monopod, which will be our primary tool in this example. Now let's take a look at some of these techniques. To start out, I have the camera on the monopod held out in front of me. What I did with this series of clips is I strung them together to form a kind of coherent series. Right now, I have the camera down on the monopod, holding it down, as you can see in the reflection, and I'm just sweeping the car. On this one, I actually have the camera held outside of the window on the monopod with it extended, trying to hold it still in the wind. Now, once again, held down so it can see the tire, and I angled it slightly to the left. In just one moment you'll see, so we can see the cars passing by. This is basically the story of me going to my destination. Then I was on a balcony, got an overhead shot, and decided to pan outward, or pan to the left. This is very simple. That tiny just change in angle, being up on a balcony creates it. You can see much more of the scene, creates a much more dynamic shot. And this is just, I'm holding the GoPro down as I was earlier, rotating it around my feet. As we go down the path, I hold it. Make sure that you go slow and you walk very steadily. Bend your knees. This will help the quality of footage. You can also film in front of you and move the camera slightly or move it drastically and see what effect that gets. Now with the waterproof housing, as you'll see, we can actually go underwater and see things that we normally would not be able to see, such as these beautiful koi. You can see how just changing the camera angle can lead to a big change in the quality of your footage. Now that we know how to film, let's ask what to film. The two primary parts of any shot are the subject and the background. You want there to be action in at least one of these. Take this tutorial for example. I'm the subject and this explanation is the action. Now take note of the scene behind me. There are cameras, lights, and implied action. This makes it considerably more enjoyable to watch than if I was standing against a plain white wall. All you can really tell is I have a white wall, whereas here you can see a bunch of equipment and might be able to assume that I work at a media studio. Seeing as I do work for a media company, if you have any questions over anything at all, please feel free to contact me at ch@rrea.com. Thank you for tuning in once again, and we will see you in the next tutorial.